Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at, yeah. All right. No, don't look at that. That's really awkward. That's really awkward. Welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Jane DeGraff. Thanks for joining me because today I'm making one of my favourite winter dishes, and that is lazy lasagna. You heard me, lazy, 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 because when we typically make lasagna, you got to make the meat sauce, you got to make the bechamel, you got to do the layering, you got to get that right, you got to get it in the oven. Did I make it sound like it takes a really long time? Because it does. Unless you do it all in one pan and skip the layering and use a whole bunch of cheats to make it really quick, loads of fun, and you get to eat it out of a pan. I'm saying there's no downsides here. Right. So I'm just going to get started because, like I said, this is all about cheats. And the first one is that we essentially just cook everything in the one pan. There's no meat sauce and then separate pot for the white sauce. So the first thing I'm going to do is fry off some mince. Now, recently, oh yeah, get that in there. We really want to fry that down. Recently I made a vegetarian version of this where instead of the mince I used lentils, which is great, but we're going for the full carnivore. You like that, the full carnivore? Going the full carnivore. All right, so we're just going to cook that all down. It is on now. All the flavours are in the pan. Yeah. Now I use pork and veal mince because it is the ultimate flavour combination for any kind of bolognese-based dish. But I have been known to do it with straight up pork before. I've also been known to do it with straight up beef. I like the combination. Yeah. And I know there's somebody lurking on the sidelines here who just will not have it unless I'm using a pork and veal combo. Am I right?
Maybe some chicken.
What? When do you ever put chicken in it?
Or turkey.
This is actually quite controversial what I'm doing here because in this house, I'm generally not allowed to make the bolognese. You heard me, not allowed to make the bolognese. We've got to cook that down. All right, I'm going to turn that up. Now what we're doing here is driving off some of the moisture because otherwise our mince won't go brown and nobody likes grey mince. Grey mince is not good. Fry that off. So while that's doing that, I'm going to go through the rest of my ingredients. I have one grated zucchini here. You can use any vegetables you like. I know some people like to thinly slice some eggplant, other people shred up carrot, which is what we often put in our bolognese. Any kind of veggies you like because that's just going to add some bulk to our lasagna. I've got some onion here, which I'm going to cook down in a minute too. And then once we've got that in the pan all together, we're going to put our tomato sauce in and then let that simmer down. But let me talk about this. This is your cheat sheet. It's a cheat sheet. And the reason it's a cheat sheet is because instead of getting the right number of layers and making them fit into a dish, what we're going to do is rip them up and stuff them into the sauce a little bit later on and just sort of hide them in there. There won't be any layering here, but it doesn't matter because this will be big, lovely pieces of pasta all the way through your lasagna. Yeah? Yeah.
Why is there kale?
Okay, there's kale because the finishing touch before I put the cheese on is to put greens all over the top.
It was a guilty laugh at the start of that.
It was a guilty laugh because I know you're not like all about the kale sometimes. Sometimes you're all about the kale. At the moment you're not all about the kale. Usually I would use baby spinach for that part of the dish, but today I'm being a little bit sneaky because I didn't have any baby spinach and I'm a kale lover. Yes, you heard me. Kale lover right here.
Don't know it.
Yeah, kale lover. So instead of the spinach, I'm going to sprinkle my kale on the top at the very end and then smother it in cheese because everything's better smothered in cheese, especially kale. You heard me. You heard me. All right. So, yeah, there's nothing to do here for a minute. Just cooking the mince. Just cooking the mince. Cooking the mince.
Got a fact about lasagna?
No lasagna facts, except that it's delicious and I love it. I'm also very lazy and that's why I don't make it as often as I should or could and why I have developed the one pan trick. You love the one pan trick, don't you? Because guess who does all the washing up in this house? I'm not hearing any guesses. I guess it's because you know the answer. You! Super taster. Also super washer. Okay. Cooking it down. Mm-hmm. Do you have any lasagna memories? I have some very clear lasagna memories from growing up.
Are you going to share any of them?
No, I'm just going to keep them to myself. They're delicious though, I'll tell you that much. No, my mum used to always make lasagna in a glass dish. And the great thing about that is you can see the strata. You can see all the layers. It's like, you know, you can see the joy buried deep down. You can see all the white sauce layered in. You can see all the cheese crusting around the edges all the way down. So if I wasn't lazy and I wasn't doing one pan lasagna, I would be making my lasagna in a show-off's glass dish. Drive it off. But I do very, very warm, fuzzy memories of the strata of the lasagna. And she used to hide lentils in hers as well, which is why I did the lentil version. Oh, you rolled your eyes! Got an old eye roll. I love a lentil lasagna. No disrespect to the mince going on in the pan here, but I do like a vegetarian lasagna. In fact, I've been known to do the half-half, the lentils in with the mince, which I suggested tonight. An old super taster vetoed. You heard me. I called you old super taster. I'm getting punchy because you don't like my lentils.
It's drowned in cheese. Okay.
No, that was the kale. That was the kale version. But to be very clear, there is no lentil component to this version, but you can do it with lentils if you want to. Ignore what he's saying over there. All right, that's starting to get some brown on it, which is what I love. Oh yeah, crispy it. I'll fight you for the BCBs. Burnt, crunchy bits. What everybody lives for, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, because I'm being really lazy and doing this in one pan, I'm just going to make some room for the onion. So that can keep going over there and we can keep turning it over so that we get some browning on the bottom. But I am going to cook my onion down on this side of the pan, which is a super lazy way to cook. But this is a family dinner and we've all had busy days. And I'm not about to be layering things and messing up new pots and all that kind of jazz. Oh yeah, cook it down, cook it down. Hey, are you a red onion? Are you a red onion or a brown onion in your bolognese?
Brown.
You are, and you're very particular about it. I'm very relaxed with my onion use. I'm with like whatever we've got. And I will almost always, given the choice, always opt for a red one because I find them generally sweeter than the brown ones. But I know you're quite particular with your brown onion. So in deference to the super taster, I have used a brown onion today. But again, I'm all for whatever you've got, people. I do sometimes follow the rules, but mostly I'm all for just going with what you have and cooking with what you have because it's a really important part of being comfortable in the kitchen is not putting too much pressure on yourself to have the exact things. Just, this is a free-form lasagna. We can go free-form with the ingredients too, yeah? Did that get a little bit philosophical for a minute there? A bit too...
So deep.
It's what happens when I'm stirring pans. I think about the philosophy of the universe, Cooking, how it brings us together. How it shows... Tears us apart. Well, that has been known to happen in this house, hasn't it? All right, we've got lots of brown, crunchy bits going on there. The onion's cooking down. Now's the time to drag it all into the middle of the pan. Made that sound very dramatic. Oh, yeah. Onion, mince. Get in there. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. I say this every time, but I always add the garlic a little bit later so that it doesn't burn. Because you don't want that acrid, burny garlic flavour. And so you've got to protect the garlic from the pan a little bit with some other ingredients. Protect the garlic. All right, look at that. Can you see that? Are you right in there with your shot of the, oh, look at that. All the crunchy bits going on. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's the basis for a good dish right there. I have yet to come across anyone in my entire life who does not like lasagna. I don't think such a thing is possible. Do you know anyone that doesn't like lasagna? Or is it the great dish that brings everyone together?
You don't know anyone.
Well, you don't have any friends, so.
Yeah, that's not saying don't know anyone.
Don't know anyone. No, not true. We spent all that time driving the moisture off, but now we're going to add some moisture back in because we actually need to make the sauce that's going to cook the pasta in the dish. So in goes this is one very large, I might add, grated zucchini. But like I said before, you can use whatever veggies you personally like in your house. Usually, when the person who almost always makes the bolognese in our house is making the bolognese, he would add carrot at this point. Grated carrot. You do sometimes put zucchini in, don't you?
Yeah, if we have it.
Yeah, it's just like more veggies the better as far as I'm concerned. All right, so we've just taken the edge off that. It'll steam down a little bit. And now what we're going to add is 1 tin of tomatoes. Very easy. And we're just going to rinse out the tin because we want a little bit of that extra moisture to make the sauce. I'm going to turn that down so we don't lose it all and give it a stir. Ah, yeah. Oh. There we go. Our pan's coming down a little bit, isn't it? It's gone from a violent hissing and sizzling to a more gentle simmer now, which is what we're after. All right, and at this point I'm also going to add a little splash of balsamic vinegar because I like the slight acidity in there. And a lot of balsamic has a little bit of sweetness to it as well, which works quite well with the tomatoes. I don't put sugar into my tomato-based sauces, but I know some people do. And I know you're guilty of that over there, Super Taster. You like the sprinkle of the sugar, don't you?
Yep.
But you use brown sugar, am I right?
Yep.
You like that molassesy kind of flavour to it. All right, that's looking really good. All right, this is the fun part. Not that all of that wasn't fun. All right, another reason I love this dish is because it works incredibly well when you don't have enough lasagna sheets. Now you can do this with the dried stuff. This is the soft, fresher stuff. You can do it with whatever you've got. You can, if you want to, just poke in bits of, spirelli, if that's all you've got access to. But I quite like tearing up my lasagna sheets. It's very therapeutic. Oh, should I tell the story about the tearing paper? I'm going to. I get in trouble because when I'm finished with paperwork, I tear it up and throw it in the bin, which makes it apparently incredibly hard for whoever's putting out the recycling because it makes a mess. I'm not allowed to tear up sheets of paper anymore, so instead I tear sheets of lasagna. Are you going to back my story up? You going to say it's true?
You dubbed yourself in for never putting the garbage out.
I do. I don't put the garbage out. I would absolutely be lying if I said I put the garbage out. I only put the garbage out if you're already in your pajamas, and it would be unfair to send you out in your boxer shorts when I'm still dressed.
You outed me for wearing boxer shorts for pajamas.
Well, if you've got any clothes on at all, hey! I went there. Sorry, probably too much information. But we're keeping it real. This is, family cooking. We have a family. All right, tuck the sheets in. Now you can get as many as you like in there, but I generally find that 2 lasagna sheets is probably enough for the pan that I use. And all you have to do is tuck it in like you're putting it to bed. Push it into the sauce. Oh, look at me. Push it in. Tuck it down. In fact, I'm going to turn the sauce off now because I don't want to lose any more of the moisture. I want that moisture in there to steam and cook the pieces of lasagna sheet. What do you reckon? Do I need to keep going, jamming them in?
No.
Can I get one more here? One more here, there we go. All our bits of pasta tucked in there. Oh, I love this dish so much. That smells so good. All right, now this is the point that you hate, where I add the dreaded kale to the top. Like I said, this works best when you do it with baby spinach, or a little bit of silver beet works as well.
We'll just pretend it's spinach.
No, I refuse to pretend, because I love kale. I am, as we said, a kale lover. I just think people do kale wrong. You do it wrong.
Yeah, they put it in lasagna.
No, this is lovely. It's textural and delicious, and it'll be cooked right down and go a lovely vibrant green colour. It sounds like I'm trying to convince myself, doesn't it? Not true, not true. All right, so this is some creme fraiche. You can do this with ricotta, which is actually my favourite thing to do it with, but today we've got creme fraiche because that's what we had in the house. Sour cream works well. You can even do it with yogurt if you want to. But what we're doing is, this is the bit where we're skipping making the white sauce, and to do that we just need to add those creamy textures in. And so I'm going to put dobs of this all over the place, and then I'm going to cover it in cheese. Now, a word on the cheese while I'm doing this. I find like a 4 cheese mix to be best, because you get the stringy bits and you get the browning bits and all that. But you can use cheddar if that's what you've got, grated cheddar. You can use all mozzarella if that's what you've got. Using all parmesan might be incredibly expensive and also quite strong, but you could do it if you wanted to. But a mix is usually the best. So we've got that all on there. Look at that. And lots of cheese. Now, I told you to stop before because I wanted to have enough cheese to fill this pan. But I promise you can eat the leftovers, Super Taster.
There's no room in the pan for cheese.
You know this. This is like a key component of the way I cook, is overflowing. I'm a big believer in abundance. Some people would say it's just, overfilling the plate. I say I like everyone to feel like they're all getting a good feed. I'm a feeder. What was our couch cry? I'm a feeder, not a fighter. It's come out again. The feeder, not a fighter. That's it. That is our lazy lasagna, but wait, there's one more step. We're going to take this and we're going to put the whole pan into a 180-degree oven and cook it until the cheese is molten and bubbly and browning and sort of crisping around the edges, like that perfect lasagna top, which is what we want. Takes about 15 minutes in the oven, so I will see you in a minute. Oh, make sure your pan is oven friendly and doesn't have a metal or doesn't have a wooden or plastic handle. Very important. That's me. Okay, I'll stop talking now. Go put it in the oven. Hey! Oh, yeah, the moment of truth. Here it is, our hot pan, our hot lasagna. Look at that melted cheese. Oh, my goodness. You can just leave me here forever with this dish. Except that I'll eat it all, which is exactly what I plan on doing right now. There you go. That was 20 minutes in the oven, and there is nothing left to do. Oh, wait, that's a lie. There is one thing left to do. I like to just drop some fresh basil leaves on top. It's a personal thing. You can use oregano if you like. Another herb if that's your fancy. But the fancy in this house is fresh basil, yeah? The fresh basil. Right, I should stop now because I'm just getting carried away with the... I can't waste it. The thing I would say here is be very careful of the pan. It's incredibly hot. I have burnt myself a number of times. Even after I've said to the children, don't touch the pan, it's hot. I've still done it to myself. All right, so into it we go. Are you ready, Super Taster? Do you have a preference of side, front crunchy bit?
Nah.
You don't care?
Cheesiest bit.
Cheese. Well, that's all over. Look, that's everything. Look at these edges. Can you see?
Okay, I'll eat it all.
Can you see? Well, all right, you do that. No. All right, I'm going to go, oh, look at that. Okay, you can see all the, look at the sauce and the cheese, and the creme fraiche has turned into a nice creamy goo. Oh my goodness. I know goo's not a sexy food word, but gee, that looks good to me. Oh yes, look at that. Got to get all the BCBs, all the side bits. I'm making strings of cheese everywhere. This is not elegant. Elegant is not what it is, but look. Look. That's a cuddle in a bowl, I think. Is that a bowl cuddle right there? Ow, hot pan. Huh. All right, one for me. I'm gonna serve myself a bigger piece than you. No, but I am gonna get right in there like this. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at, yeah. All right, no, don't look at that. That's really awkward. That's really awkward. All right, put that down there. Ta-da. All right, tuck that in. I don't know what to do about the strings of cheese other than eat them, so you'll just have to wait while I grab a spoon, because this is the bit that I get to do. The taste test, all the bits of cheese down there. All right, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to get all my basil. I did this last time, though. I burnt my mouth really badly, so just bear with me. I've got basil. I've got the controversial kale. I've got the cheese. I've got bits of pasta in there, which are all nice and soft. That is so cheesy. That is also so good. There is nothing left to say. That is the laziest, most incredible, delicious lasagna. Lazy lasagna. That's the way it should be done. Thank you so much for joining me for the fun food, the delicious food, and most importantly, the joyful food. I will see you next time, and thanks for playing in my kitchen with me. Bye. Oh, yeah. Oh. That's hot and delicious.